Hello, and welcome back to Private Practice Peace. Okay, so we're going to move on with our discussion regarding establishing a private practice and the steps that it takes, as well as the early stages, which require, understanding local regulations and licensing resources and things like that. Because, of course, you can't have a private practice if you are not in line and licensed, in the profession. So, the steps to establishing a private practice. The first step is understanding, your local regulations. And when I say local, I'm not just talking about in your city. I'm talking about whatever state you plan to practice in. Okay. So in order for us to be therapists, we have to go to school. There's a certain amount of education that we have to have, certain degrees, certain clinical experience, so many hours, as well as being licensed by a governing body that says, yes, you can practice, therapy within this state. So being able to understand what that means where you're at, okay? Also, too, in future videos, we will talk about setting up your office. We'll talk about designing your website and also getting the word out, because these are all important things when you are trying to get in a solo practice established. So, okay. So moving on to understanding local regulations. The first questions: are you licensed to practice therapy independently? Okay. So, what I mean by are you licensed to practice independently means, can you do it solo? Meaning that you don't need a supervisor to do it. A lot of states will have what you call provisional licenses. So it could be like a PLPC or a uh, LMSW, someone that has a provisional license, meaning that they can practice, but they cannot do it independently. So they have to have a supervisor that oversees like all of their work, in order for them to be in compliance with practicing. Okay. So in solo private practice, you need to be able to be licensed independently, meaning that you can practice independently and that you can do what you need to do in regards to running the practice. Okay. So holding that independent license. All right. The next question is, what are the regulations in the state of your license? Okay. So sometimes people say, well, I got this, license, but I'm not sure if it's independent. I'm not sure what it is. Then you need to go to your state governing board. Okay. They're all different names in different states. I'm primarily in Missouri, so I think it's called the Missouri Board of Licensed Professional Counselors. Okay, I'm licensed in Texas. I think it's called the Board of Behavioral Counselors. Somewhere else, it could be called the Board of Professional Regulation. So basically, you just kind of need to figure out what board governs for the state, for your state, in regards to the license or certification or whatever that you hold that you have questions about. Okay. I know that most of you all on here already have licenses and you're probably like, I already know this, whatever, but I just want to make it clear, okay, that you understand. Also, too, if you plan to practice or have a solo private practice, in a local instance, depending on where you're at, and I'm talking more of municipalities as far as local government. Sometimes you have to have a business license to operate in an entity, really in most municipalities that you do. But this is different. Your professional license is different, like than a business license, where when you would open up like a storefront or office, and and sell and service or market services. Okay. So next we're going to move on to, if you do have questions about your licensing board, or where to find more information regarding the licensing resources or what each state does, here are some links and these are related to the professions of therapists, of people that practice as solo therapists. Most often they are either social workers or LCSWs. Counselors can be LPCs, licensed professional counselors, or licensed clinical professional counselors, depending on the state, as well as licensed marriage and family therapists. Okay. So you have those different acronyms, but basically people that have those licenses are able to practice therapy independently. And of course, social workers, the licensed clinical social worker, they are also licensed to practice therapy independently as well. Okay. And for psychologists, you have the PsyD, which of course, as a licensed psychologist, they're able to practice therapy as well as do testing and evaluations as well. Okay. So these links are also an attachment connected to this lesson. So if you pull it up, you can click on these links, and then you will find information about all of the states. It'll give you access to where you can find information about all of the states under your profession. So we are going to move on to the next video. Thanks for letting me give you this tidbit, even if you did already know it. And I'll see you next time. Bye.